Hey everybody, welcome to tonight's episode of Between the Sheets. I'm Gaye and Bruno. Yes, I am, and I happen to be gay, and I'm really giddy tonight. This is retarded. So we have a wonderful guest in the house tonight, but I'm not going to introduce him last because I have my lovely ladies here. We have, to the left of me, Mara Shane.
Love her.
Hey,
yeah. Love her.
What's up, party people? Woo!
The Brit, one of my favorite Brits, Cara Noble.
I am a Brit, but I'm also an American, so there.
Yay, Brit. I have the girl with oh so many names, yes. Roxanne Rosen.
Woo, Roxanne.
She's
adorable.
Adorable.
Have to put out the red light. And then we have Tony Sweet in the back running the keys.
Applause.
Welcome to UBN Go.
And he's not the token man today.
No, he's not. No, he's not. We have a man, a real man in the house. Well, I mean, Tony, you're a real man, but you're gay. So, I mean, it's really.
Oh, you're a disappointment.
Oh, please.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I'm getting over something. I may cough up a lung.
So am I.
So, so please be prepared. But nevertheless, my guest, he was on the second incarnation, or maybe the first of Between the Sheets back in the day. Yeah. And so I've known this gentleman for a long time. I think he's full of shit in his books. No,
finally, someone can see through it all.
But he has a new book out. He's also very good friends with Cara as well.
Yes, he is.
He's an official god of a god and goddess.
We're bosom buddies.
Hey, you're talking about bosom?
I like bosoms, yes.
Bosom buddies.
Oh, yeah.
So he has a new book out. It's available on Amazon, right?
Yes, it is.
It's called What the Heck is Self-Love Anyway? His name is Jonathan ASLAY. Let's welcome.
Yay!
Thank you.
So, okay, Tristan, go with the first question.
All right. So.
No, shut up. What's your sign?
My birthday was yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a Leo.
He's approved, by the way, because he's a Leo.
I'm
Just saying.
approved?
I like Leos. I love, my rising
The
is
world revolves
Leo.
around
Yeah, that's
us.
why I said he's approved.
He's not
Approved.
Oh,
Approved.
We all thought you were saying
Approved.
That is so different.
No, he's approved.
Oh my God. Okay, I
I'm
thought you
approved.
said prude. I'm like, Leo,
Yeah, me too.
really?
I have an
No.
official stamp on me, approved.
As soon as I met him, I'm like, what
Approved.
sign are you? My birthday was yesterday. I'm perfect. You're approved.
See,
Sit
everyone
down.
in the audience, Roxanne and her signs. I don't get it. But let's start with the book. So you had another book, or one or two before. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I didn't really do my research because I know you. I figure we'll just shoot from the hip.
Sure.
So what was the first book about? What was it called, and what was the
It
first
was
book?
called Understand Men Now, the relationships men commit to and why.
Oh, for God's sake, I bet it was bullshit.
You know what's so funny? Now that I look back at it, it is.
Let me guess. Men just want sex, right?
No, that's not what it's all about. But
But it is.
I was actually writing a book before I wrote this book called Compassionate Dating, Why Modern Romance Needs a Makeover. I'm actually in the process of writing that.
I
right
like
now.
that. That
Really?
sounds very
Yeah.
good.
That would be nice.
Yeah.
But we don't have romance nowadays.
Well, we should.
It's like
No, it's the other way around.
sexting is the romance nowadays, to
Ooh.
be honest with you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, our Snapchat
me.
videos, like that's the romance nowadays. That's it.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
So, yeah, whatever.
Jonathan, save us.
What would you like me to say?
Okay.
Yourselves?
I'm like fucking distracted. Somebody's
Okay.
fucking texting me.
Would
like,
you stop?
You need, like, put
would you
the
stop
phone away.
posting on Facebook?
It's my mother's nurse, and she's asking me, like, she waits till now if I need someone to get, like, help for my mother. And I'm like, stop. You were like, OC fucking D. I'll answer you in a minute.
For an hour
I mean,
to-
doesn't she know who I am and that I have a show? Well, anyway.
I heard the funniest thing last night.
What?
A gay boy said, "Don't you know who I think
I
I am?"
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I
"Oh
am.
my God, that's amazing."
Oh, that's old. But that's way old.
Yeah, that's so left.
That's
Is it
so
old? That was
so,
amazing.
That's so last decade, but because you weren't born, you didn't figure it out. So I have to say, we got to talk about lesbians because,
Okay.
well, we always have to talk about lesbians, but
Because we don't talk about anything else.
Be prepared.
lesbians only talk about lesbians. So,
No.
this was okay. I will start out with. Usually, I start out with a story. So this I've been out so much this last week, and I've been drinking way too much. It's like, do I think I'm 20? But like on Saturday was Goddess Camp. On Sunday was Melanie's art show.
Oh, yeah.
Mara was there.
Yes, I was.
And then that was Sunday. Monday, Kim Sanchez closed her restaurant in Long Beach, and Tristan was there.
Roxanne.
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 It's okay. Go on.
Hey, it's me, okay? And then Tuesday, Terry Nunn, and I met with Jonathan and was there. She was at the Grammy Museum, and she did a Q&A and a performance for the new album that came out actually today called Transcendence. Also, Terry will be, and that's our theme song, if you haven't figured it out. The album just cut tonight. I mean, it's out tonight, and she will be at the Microsoft or LA Live on Sunday with the B-52s. That's the start of their 40th anniversary tour. So the B-52s are 40 years. Berlin is 40 years. OMD is there too, but I don't know how. I don't know how many years they're around. But I'm going to be there because it's going to be fun. And then on Wednesday I went out to dinner. So it's like every night it was like insane. And then Thursday I had to work, and then today I had to work. I'm like, today I was talking to a friend of mine. And I've been so tired and so like weirded out. I like yelled, cried, laughed, all in a 20-minute conversation. And she's like, boy, you're tired. I'm like, I know, and I have a show tonight.
But what is this about? What has this got to do with lesbians?
I know.
Yeah.
You said you want to
Well,
talk about
because I'm a
lesbians.
lesbian, this is my show, and it's all about me. So, I'm just saying.
That's clear.
Oh
Okay?
my!
All
Your
right.
Leo's coming out right now. FYI.
Look.
There you go.
So anyway, so getting back to John. So what led you, Jonathan? What led you to write this book? Like what? Like how did it start? What was the catalyst or the what germinated? How did it germinate?
Sure. Well, I was just sharing with you. I've been writing a book called "Compassionate Dating: Why Modern Romance Needs a Makeover," and but I recognize that in the dating realm, I realized that the dating triggers the number one emotional health issue facing, I don't want to say the world, but at least Americans, and that is a lack of self-love. And what I mean is a lack of self-worth, not feeling good about yourself, not feeling liked. And so this had been gnawing on me. And many of you here know, and your audience doesn't know, was a year ago, 2 weeks ago, my 19-year-old son passed away.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm okay. Thank you. So it was just a lot of stuff stirred up until the funeral and then thereafter. And I go, this book that I've been writing just doesn't feel right. There has to be something deeper going on. And this thing about, lack of self-worth, the lack of self-love just kept gnawing at me. So 2 months
I'm
after.
so sorry. That's mine. Should I just jump up and
Where is it?
down there?
Someone didn't turn off their phone.
I'm so sorry. Nobody
Hold
calls
on.
me, so thank you.
So 2 months after he passed away, I just said, I'm going to start writing a book about self-love. And I just started writing. And 9 months to the day he passed, I put it on Amazon and it was published.
Oh, wow.
Can I just say that I've known you for 3 or 4 or 5 years? Your extraordinary way of dealing with it has been just an amazing example to us all.
Well,
I'm
thank you.
so
Thank
proud of you.
Thank you.
I had no
Yeah,
idea that
so
that
proud.
happened. Sorry.
Oh. Well, what's interesting is the book. Thank you so much, sweetheart. And you've been such an amazing supporter throughout this whole thing. So I'm so grateful. The book is actually a reflection of Connor, my son. His name is Connor. His nickname is Salty. And he's throughout the book. And what I learned in the journey of writing the book was that it wasn't just so much about passing information forward to a broad audience, so to speak. It was really a personal journey to kind of reflect back on how was I able to navigate what I thought was going to be the worst thing that could ever happen to me. And anyone who's a parent probably could viscerally feel the idea of what it would like to lose a child. Was I thought this would bring me to my knees. And surprisingly, it didn't. I mean, I was able to navigate this with relative ease and grace. And as while I was writing the book, I was reflecting on my journey the last 20 years, which began a personal development, self-help, spiritual practice, that it was like a vaccination to impending chaos. And so I felt as though that it was interesting. I'd finished writing the book, and then I didn't realize the message until actually after I published it. I went back and took it off Amazon and rewrote the ending because I realized that was the real gift in this book, was to pass on a message of the importance to begin a daily personal development, self-help, or spiritual practice.
Plus, you showed the fortitude of human spirit.
That's correct.
And you did it with such fucking grace.
Oh, thank you.
You know, Cara thinks because she whispers, she doesn't know it's a fucking dollar.
Hey, fuck you.
You owe 3 now.
All right,
I'm
3.
throwing you a 10
There's a lot of
later.
cuss
All right.
words in my book.
So everybody, if you want to talk to any of us and Jonathan, you can look him up online also and see what he's done to have some questions, or because it's going to get fun. 323-524-2599. 323-524-2599. Now, my understanding, and just to address this briefly, is when you guys call, sometimes you're disconnected, or sometimes it doesn't act like someone's calling in, or you're on for a while. It's the internet. So just please be patient. If it disconnects, please call back, because we do want you to call us. You know, you're part of us. You know, we're just here as the mouthpieces, but you are part of the show. It's called Between the Sheets, and we want you between the sheets with us.
Yay.
323-524. Jonathan
merrier.
probably more than anybody. 323-524-2599. Tanya, whatever your freaking name is.
Roxanne!
I know you're chomping at the bit to ask him a question, so go.
No, I really am. The self-love, I agree with you 100% that, you know, as Americans, when we're ready to date, we are all faced with the, are we worthy? Are they worthy? It's always, am I worthy or are they worthy? And it's just really, how do you get past that? Like, if you are feeling, am I worthy to date someone? Or if on the flip side, if you feel, is she worthy for me to date her? So I want to like address this
That's
both
a bunch
angles.
of bull. Can I just add something? Just before you say,
Let
if
me
you
remember
got
what you just said.
it's about worthy. I'll fill
It's
you
about
in.
worthy on
I got
both
it.
ends.
First of all, everybody's fucking worthy is what he's saying. It's about that self-love. So before somebody even thinks, this is my opinion, you can correct me anytime you want. I don't think you should enter into a relation thinking you are worthy of that person, or is that person worthy of you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
wait,
that's why
I want to
wanted
jump
have him
into
address
too.
that.
I'm going to
Please.
protect you on this one because yes, we all are innately love, if you will. We are innately love. We are innately worthy of ourselves. She's talking about if you don't feel worthy. There's a difference. People can feel all kinds of feelings, insecurities, anxieties, entitlement. There's all. And what I wanted to
Yeah.
address was
Right.
it's kind of there's really 3 castes of people, but let's say the ones who are entitled, they think they're overly worthy and no one else can measure up.
Right.
The person that doesn't feel that they're worthy, and then they're fearful of everything. And then if you've reached an equilibrium, if you will, of recognizing that we're all, I don't want to say we're flawed human beings, but we're human beings. We have insecurities. We have, idiosyncrasies and whatnot.
We make mistakes.
Yes.
It's
and
true.
so it's, do we rise above them, or do we take them down with us? And so the inspiration of the book, and self-love turns a lot of people off, the title. So I say, look, self-love is really a metaphor for self-worth, self-reliance, self-confidence.
Mm-hmm.
It's all those self-words of investing in yourself. And so one of the chapters talks about, like, when you're on the airplane and the flight attendant tells you to, if you're traveling with a small child, if the cabin pressure changes, the oxygen mask will drop. Put the mask on yourself first before you put it on someone else. And that's what this is all about, is putting that love back to yourself, because many are great at giving love, but many have a challenge giving it back to themselves.
Can I interrupt there?
Yes,
We
you
have a
may.
caller.
Ooh.
Yay.
Hi, this is Gaye. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who may I ask is calling?
It's Wendy. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hey, Wendy.
Well, let me start that Wendy's supposed to be here tonight, and it was false advertising because she's feeling under the weather. So I'm
it's
glad
our
you called
Wendy.
in, darling. What do you want? I hope you're feeling better. What do you want to ask Jonathan?
Thank you. Jonathan, first of all, I want to say that I read your book, and I thought it was really great. So,
Thank you.
thank you for putting that out there and opening your heart for that. What I really want to ask, though, is you made an interesting comment earlier about your first book and how, things have changed. And I'm wondering what has changed from that point when you wrote the book and that first book till now.
Well,
Remind us of the title.
The title is Understand Men Now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy. It's interesting. I recently got interviewed for a magazine article, and the author was reciting many chapters or many segments from my book. And every time he was sharing something, I go, well, I have a new perspective on that. I didn't want to say I disagree with what I wrote. I just said, I have a different awareness on how that fits in our world. And I realized that when I wrote that book, much of it was based on ego-based living. In other words, from that perspective of ego and not heart. And while there are some truths in the book, it's mostly generalizations. And what I've come to realize is generalizations are full of shit. And while there might be some base truth to that, human beings are fucking complicated. Am I going to get busted again?
No.
Fucking complicated.
I'm just going to have to just pat you down and find your money.
We can pat him down.
I know.
Human beings are complex and complicated. And so the book, while it is I really do believe, and I'm going to own this, it's very surface level. And in the 8 years since I've written it, I've had a greater level of awareness that surface is a waste of time. If we really want to get to know another human being, then we have to go deep into our vulnerability, because that's what intimacy is. Into me you see. And it starts by being vulnerable. And so the surface level dating advice out there is just a bunch of garbage, in my opinion. And even, I don't want to say my book is garbage, but I've had a greater awareness since then. Let's just say that.
Good for you. Was it expensive?
Thank you.
No, I didn't.
Are you complete? This is like goddess camp. Wendy, are you complete?
I am completely satisfied. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye, honey.
Wendy.
By the way,
I
I
love
have
you.
a comment. Why did you think I wanted to be in the under
you.
the sheets more than anyone else here?
I don't know.
You
Is he a man?
Because you're a man.
wait, that makes me want it more?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
You know
I
what?
talked to you
I have
ladies in
say,
the green
you know what?
room.
When we were at Beanie and Stan's 60th,
Yeah.
Wendy and I kind of cornered you,
Yeah.
and I heard you talk, and I'm like, yeah, this is a bunch of crap. But I like you a lot.
okay.
And I truly believe, I haven't read the book, so I'm not going to judge this. Okay,
Thank
but when you talk about like women, you're kind of like not the expert about women, but
I'm not.
Yeah, I know, because you're single still.
Do I have to throw down I lost my son card here and it's because up
But only
God.
once.
This is the last time.
Once. I think we're all single. Yeah, we are.
We're all single.
Except
We are.
Tony. We are all single at this
Way to go,
table.
buddy.
And I'm proud to be single, and I choose
Okay.
it.
So we're all single at
Okay.
this table. So
So
it's
you were
not like.
talking about we're at the party. I'm full of shit about women. Something.
So, and I wanted to sort of bring this up, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to say Sam Phillips, who was my mentor in getting and wanting me to do a podcast. She always said, "Don't start a dialogue before. Save it for air."
Yeah.
And so I saved it for air. And do you think? I mean, seriously. And I don't know how much experience you have with lesbians besides me and Margie from camp.
I think
But-
I want more.
What?
More
My
experience of
experience
lesbians.
was I
Come
used
on
to
now,
listen
it's
to
my
Howard
time.
Stern.
I've
Does
already.
that count?
I kissed you.
Yes.
I kissed you last Saturday.
Yes, you did.
Just to show you what it's like.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I'm glad you
Well,
liked
well,
it. You were not in a good mood. I figured I'd have to make you in a good mood.
You're so right.
Yeah, I knew
There'll
it.
be a session. Don't worry about
No,
it.
don't worry. She'll volunteer. She obviously thinks she owns my. What do you think you own?
Not saying it online.
Okay. She thinks she owns part of me. So my question is, I mean, do you think, like, what do you think, like, people are unavailable in relationships, especially when they've had some baggage and really bad relationships.
Yeah.
I have. I'm the giver, and you give, and you hope to receive. I don't want gifts. I don't need gifts. It's that other stuff. It's the I love you. It's the this. It's the that. And then you become fucking needy. Oops, sorry about that. You become needy, and then it's like all of a sudden then it's a turnoff for the other person.
Yeah.
So how do you navigate? How do you balance that? How do you, like someone who really wants to be loved and is a good person to be loved, how do you sort of just chill out, be patient, relax, and not cross other people's boundaries and recognize it as opposed to just moving full forward going, too bad.
Yeah. So you just chill, relax, don't go forward.
Look at that smile.
Because actually, what you're doing is, you're not going to like what I'm going to say.
No,
you're doing that
I'm
for
asking you
selfish
for me,
reasons.
okay?
Yes.
You're selfishly going after that person to do something to make them like you, instead of just being in your sovereignty, being in your own zone, being in your own chi, and saying, "Hey, I am enough. I love myself. I don't need to do anything to elicit someone else to love me." Doing that is actually narcissistic. Bump, bump, bump. It is actually, it's a level of saying, I'm first.
I've done,
I'm saying
I've
a
done
level
the
of
narcissist
first.
test.
I'm not saying you are a narcissist.
No, it's okay.
I'm saying
I
it's
know
a level
I'm not,
of
but I'm just saying,
selfishness.
yes,
When they're
selfish. I am selfish.
You're being selfish in that moment. So just
You're
hold
like-
your space. Let them meet you on the 50-yard line. You show up at the 50-yard line and dance at the 50-yard line. You
I
don't
would
need to
say
give
that
more.
Gaye is not a narcissist.
I didn't say she was.
I know.
I said that could be considered
What is good about
narcissistic.
Gaye is she's asking the question, so she recognizes
Yeah.
how she works, and she has to tone it down.
Yeah.
And it's
Now,
hard
by the way,
when you're a
willpower-
giver in that way, but also you're giving in hoping to receive, and then that's
Yeah.
not the same.
So
and that's what
first
you're saying.
off, and what I'm saying is willpower or awareness is what we're really talking about. The good news, you're aware of this, okay? Now let's take that awareness a step further, and when you're actually in the process of doing it, going, I am doing this. That aha moment, that awareness allows you to go, I'm going to take a step backwards and not move forward. Just hang tight at the 49-yard
just try
line.
it. I'm with you, sweetheart. I do the same.
Yeah, I do the same too.
And by the way, I am too. I'm actually overgive.
But you know,
I've been in that
I
experience.
mean, you know, and this was.
And you know what I found?
What,
when I
Jonathan?
when I overgive, I was doing it, I said, for selfish reasons because I wanted to get. And I recognize if someone's not meeting me on the 50-yard line, then we're misaligned.
Yes.
That's not the person I need to be with. I want to be someone who says, you know, we talk about 50-50. I'm not talking. The 50-yard line is where you start at 100%. But you're there at the 50-yard line. You're not at the 20-yard line, and the other person has to come over to get you.
Got it. We have a caller. Hello, hello, hello. This is Gaye. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Shauna.
Shauna, how are you?
What's up?
Hello.
Hello.
Is this Aries?
No, it's Shauna.
I'm like, deer in the, what is it? Deer in the headlights, headlights in the deer. I can't even think, you guys.
You have a question or no, honey?
Of course I do. I just wasn't expecting to be on so quickly. The phone was telling me, hold on, you might be picked, and suddenly I'm picked.
Well, suddenly this is Between the Sheets, and everything here is spontaneity. So, you want to call back, or you want to? You're not.
We want to hear what you have to
Yeah,
say.
just say
Come on,
it.
spit
Come
it
on,
out.
just say it.
I'm not calling back, definitely.
Well, then speak your truth.
And what I do want to say is hello to everybody. Everybody looks great.
Thank
I had a little
you.
difficulty getting online and hooking up with you guys, so I missed like the first 15 minutes. But
I'll do a watch party.
That's fine. I'll catch up, but let me just jump in right where you're at.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm a giver. I've been a giver all my life, and you know what? I give to people I don't know. I give to people I know, that I love, that I like, and not once is my giving a trait of narcissism. It is done out of the goodness and kindness of my heart. Period. End of sentence. It is not done for affirmation or for somebody to like me.
Excellent.
I'm from a family of 10. I learned to stroke my ego a long time ago. And I think that, there needs to be more givers in this world. And maybe this world would be a better place.
Well, I agree with
I like
you.
that too.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm in 100%.
I mean, it's okay
I'm
to
talking about
give.
giving to get.
Yeah.
That's
No,
what I was
but
talking
I don't
about.
give
I want
to-
give.
Hey, look, wait.
Yeah,
No,
neither
you
do
were
I.
kind of saying it in that.
No,
genre.
but it's not give to get. I mean, like when I give to people, they say I appreciate you or thank you, and that's.
But
okay.
here's the thing: if you give, you wouldn't. But here's where I'm challenging you. Okay, you wouldn't even need to bring this up if you're a giver that only does it
Because
without
I
wanting
don't.
something.
You know what? I got a problem with rejection.
Okay,
I have-
so then let's get to the really bigger issue because it isn't
doesn't?
about
We
it
all
isn't
do.
about the giving.
It's
And by
about-
the way, thank you, caller, because what you
Yeah,
did
Shauna,
say, and
thank
I
you.
want to acknowledge, is that if you're giving purely from your heart, you're absolutely right. If everyone on this planet just gave from their heart and were capable of receiving, because it's not just about the giving, we also need to be able to receive
It's
love.
true, yes.
And so,
Yes, indeed.
so I want to acknowledge that if you're coming from that true altruistic place, then I'm not even remotely suggesting that's narcissistic. What I'm saying is when we're doing
saying
it to
Gaye's
get
a
it,
narcissist.
no, I said when we give to get, there's an element of narcissism because it's about us and not the other person. And that's narcissistic.
Get it?
So
Totally.
Okay. So
Shauna,
now
hold
the
on,
really
wait.
bigger
So
issue
Shauna,
you
so
said.
Shauna, I love you, Jonathan.
I love you right back.
Do you have anything else that you'd like to just impart on us? It's always lovely when you call.
Well, so much, of course, I want to say, but I'll keep it to the particular topic at hand and in the moment. And in the moment, I'm giving.
Well,
I'm giving you my time.
thank
I'm
you.
giving you my love,
Thank you.
and I'm giving you my support the ways that I can that are genuine.
I appreciate
Absolutely.
that. I appreciate that, sweetheart. You've been a big champion of the show, and I really appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You look
Shauna.
beautiful, Gaye.
We're all sending you and giving you a great big kiss.
And a hug.
Mwah. Thanks, Sean. Talk soon,
right.
honey. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Get to it. Get back to it. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Hey, this is fun tonight. We have callers, so we want my lipstick. Oh my god, I'm such a lipstick lesbian. I'm like, I'm worried about my lipstick. Where's my mirror? The call-in number is 323-524-2599. 323-524-2599.
That
And
sounds hot.
thanks.
Call me later tonight.
All right, I will. and I think we have another call. Do we have Tony? We have another caller. Okay. All right. Hi, everyone. Welcome Between the Sheets. This is Gayanne who's calling.
I'm sorry. This is David Beal.
Oh, Dana, do me a favor. If you have the show on in the background, could you please lower the volume because it gives a feedback to us?
Yeah, I left the room because of that. I was trying to find the remote when you came on there. My girlfriend is watching the show, so I don't want to turn the sound off on her.
Wow. Well, so are you enjoying the show,
But
love?
I'm in another room. I'm in another room.
You're
so it
doing
shouldn't
well.
be
Well done.
feedback.
Thank you. Are you enjoying the show, my love?
Oh yes, absolutely.
And what would you like to
Yeah, so-
ask Jonathan or any of us ladies?
Well, I want to let Jonathan know how much I like his book. I also wanted to, if I get in soon enough, I wanted to just do a shout back to Shauna Rama, who is a very good friend of mine also.
David, I have to say thank you very much for your positive impact or in on the show and very positive stuff and even and offering to help. You're a very lovely man, and I want to acknowledge David Beal. He's a lovely man with a sweet soul, and keep contacting us. You're part of the family, sweetheart, always.
Yes.
Thank you, David.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David.
Thanks for calling in.
Okay.
Bye, honey.
All right. You guys take care.
Bye. Okay, I'll do sexy voice again.
Sexy voice,
All
yes.
right.
That was
Excuse
exciting.
me, excuse me, that's my job, sweetheart.
Okay, call me later too, okay?
Okay.
You can too.
All right. Hi. Well. Oh my God! Now she's
go up to
bi. Now she's become bi. 323-524-2599. So Mara.
I have a 5% chance.
Yeah, I know. Exactly. We won't go there. So I'm Mara. I know that I came a little late. I know you and
Roxanne.
thank you, Roxanne.
Roxanne.
We're sort of having a discussion that I walked in on.
Yes.
And it was the 5%, 10% thing. Can you explain this to me?
So we were basically grilling Jonathan about his client base and that a lot of them are straight women. And Roxanne and I were saying, well, we're pretty much 90%, lesbian with 10% open kind of thing right?
And I said I had a chance.
Yes, that's when you had a chance. And I said, no, you don't.
Sadly not, sweetheart.
I didn't hear you say no.
No, but the
okay.
point is,
Well, now it's a definitive
I didn't hear
no.
that.
Yeah, nor did he.
Well, no, it's on air. This is why Mara's sort of
I
playing
haven't
it.
told you no.
Kinda.
Okay, FYI.
Okay, we're
So,
talking after the show.
Roxanne, do you ever tell anybody no?
No, like no.
But I wanna hear what Mara
I don't really
has to
tell
say.
lesbians no. I mean, I always tell lesbians no anyway. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is the fact that you have a lot of straight, if we're going to put labels, the fact is you were put on the spot by us because we said what kind could you offer love advice, dating advice to women who are in love with other women, and you said something about when I started to explain, you said
Well, I said,
It's
first off, I
complicated.
think I said I don't have an awareness
Yes.
of how the gay or lesbian community operates. Not that I have no clue. So I'm coming from a lack of any
Me neither.
But then
experience.
Don't
Right.
worry,
So
Cara. You're going to
because
learn later.
I originally started, my coaching began as helping women understand men.
Mm-hmm.
So it was geared to straight women because they wanted to understand men. So I was coming from that perspective.
Mm-hmm.
What I did say, though, when we were in the green room sharing with this for the audience, was that human beings, whether man or woman, we are complicated creatures, and biologically we may have a predisposition. Men are predisposed to being hunters and providers and protectors. Women are berry pickers
So do
and
butcher
gatherers.
women have the same
No,
thing.
but I'm saying
That's
on
what
a
I meant.
biological level that may be true, but then you have to add into it our childhood, our child rearing and any particular traumas that we may have experienced in childhood. Then add to that our adult experiences, and you put all that together, it's a big stew. You could actually, whether man or woman,
Apply
Mm-hmm.
apply the same things because it's
universal.
really about human behavior and how we connect with another human being.
It
It's
really
not
is.
gendered based. That's why I'm really fucking fed up with the whole masculine and feminine energy crap, and that's
Yeah.
my perspective on it, because I'd rather get to the soul of someone. I'd rather talk to this part, their heart, than whether or not how they operate in the world. Let's talk about how they operate from their hearts.
I have
Exactly.
a question.
That's where I come from.
So what happens when you're in a relation or you meet someone
Yes.
and your heart is open? I mean, I'm an open book. I just am, and I have two.
So you give out your social security number on a first date?
No.
Okay, so
I
you're
don't-
not that open.
And
of
I
a
don't
book.
sleep with anybody on the first
Oh,
date.
well,
We
that-
got that under
all right.
control.
Well, not yet.
Oh my God. No, I do not ever.
Yeah.
No, never.
Never say never.
No, that is the
Never
only.
say never.
I'm 50, almost 56, and I haven't done it yet. And I'm like,
Yet. There you go. Now she said it.
You haven't had sex yet?
I've had.
Love it.
Oh my God,
Got it. Yet.
I have had sex.
All right, so what's your question
My
about
question
being
is,
open?
what about? I mean, I'm pretty open.
Okay.
Now, I always seem to. I don't know if it's attract
Okay.
women that I particularly like.
Okay.
They're emotionally unavailable.
Okay.
Me too. Same.
Me
And-
three.
And I'm not going
Stop that.
I'm not saying
Stop
it's.
that.
I'm not saying it's only lesbians. I mean, I'm sure, but like, how do you bridge that? I mean, I'm not saying we have to enter up in a relationship with these people, but how do you bridge that gap, or is it something about me that I shouldn't, that I'm not doing proper? I don't know. I'm confused.
So which one of your
I don't
parents was
understand.
emotionally unavailable?
What does that mean
Yeah.
exactly?
Well, that's another thing too.
Well,
We
no,
could
but
go
really-
into
You
that.
can't
But
go
by the way,
deep
I
with
was
them.
going to go down a different
Okay.
train because we tend
I mean,
to
both my
go
parents
to what's familiar.
were kind of. I mean, obviously, my dad was very quiet.
Yeah.
Very introverted.
Yeah.
My mother was suffocating. I mean, she still is. Suffocating. And
Hi, Mom.
And hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
And
Hi, Mom.
overcompensated, suffocating and overcompensated the love that my father. He loved me, but he didn't express it.
Yeah.
So she overcompensated, and then in any disappointment, she would always buy me expensive presents to make up for disappointments or anything like that. Hi, Mom. Yes, that's you.
It's kind of interesting, though. You said that you're an overgiver, so your mom overcompensated your father, who was more quiet. It's interesting because it sounds like you attract, you tend to be the giver. You attract someone who's probably more quiet, or what you say is emotionally unavailable. So what that is that's familiar to you from childhood. That's where that piece comes in. That could be one of the reasons of the why. Okay, stop it. But if you want to know where that why comes from,
I do.
You might want to explore your childhood. And in my chapter in my book, it talks about exploring your childhood wounds. There's a fantastic process called the Hoffman process.
We have
that
both
Carr
done
and
it,
I
not
have
together,
done,
but
which is an amazing inner child. I call it an
It's
inner
incredible.
child workshop, which allows you to really examine where both your childhood wounds come from and your limiting beliefs and negative patterns in your life. And it's an amazing 1-week experience to really, for me, I left feeling what self-love felt like. I walked out of there with a blanket of self-love. And that actually was the impetus to get this started. Because I could recognize what it feels like to love myself, to truly love myself. So there's not just
connect
Hoffman.
inside, because that's what it does. Hoffman is incredible. I please everyone should go. Everyone, because you can love your parents more when you understand how they didn't mean to give you these kind of crazy traits that you live with for the rest of your life. You have to. It's a fantastic experience. Hoffman. It's all over the world.
Hoffman process. For those in Los Angeles, there's an amazing place called Insight, which is going to have their next of their Insight 1 is in a week. So, I mean, there's all these amazing tools out there to really help us. And Hoffman is really, one of a kind. It's not cheap, by the way.
But they do give you stipends or whatever.
Scholarships.
Yeah.
But there are all different types of places that can help you awaken your heart and get to the bottom of that. Because like Cara says, it's not blaming our parents for what happened. It's recognizing and having compassion, because what they learned from their parents, and they learned from their parents, and they learned from their parents. And we're probably at the point in society where actually helping younger children, a lot of kids are starting therapy, in the last, say, 20 years. In my world, the baby boom generation, that was like, no, you're like
crazy.
You're crazy if you have to do that. Now, the real benefit of that is you get a chance to open up your heart in a way and be vulnerable in a way that we've never experienced before. So I do hope that there's a shift in society, because there's an awakening to personal development, self-help, spirituality. And I don't mean religious when I say spirituality. I mean self.
Yeah.
The discovery of self. What I recognized when I wrote this book, I've been on a journey of self-discovery, because there's they say when you turn 40, that's called midlife crisis. But really, it's that whole, who am I? Why am I here?
Can we move it to 50? Because I think that's only fair.
Yeah, I think so too.
I was there at 20, so
60 is the new 40.
Okay.
But it's also 9 p.m. is the new 2 in the morning for us.
Can I ask you?
Sure.
Can I just segue in? Can I ask you about rejection?
Yes.
Mara, what are you doing?
This is a limp mic. It's not.
It's limp. That's because you told him no.
My mic is very stiff and hard.
I'm sorry,
Let
you
me
gave
just
me
be
a
clear.
limp mic.
My mic is very stiff and hard. Sorry, you
nice
got
to
the
know.
bottom.
And I'm seeing it from over here, and it is.
Okay, well,
Just saying.
Well, mine doesn't know what.
She's
to
got
do.
a wobbler here.
All right, so look, I mean, it's
Maybe you
not,
might
it's
want to
like
go lesbian
Really,
then.
do I want to continue to do this show? That's all I'm asking.
Of course you do.
But before we go, 323-524-2599. 323-524-2599.
And Mara's question.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
ask
question
it.
is, I want to
Rejection.
delve into more of rejection, and that's usually at the bottom of a lot. It's, I stay out of relationships mostly because I've got this intimacy fear.
Yeah.
And it's easier for me to just not do them. I just don't get involved, and that's a way I get. And then when I do, I choose people that are emotionally unavailable because it's familiar, and I'm, obviously trying to right things in my childhood.
Yeah.
I want to talk about rejection and how your views are on that.
Sure.
How common that is, and how
So-
you deal with it.
My perception on rejection is, let's use a couple examples. You've been interacting with someone, you've had a couple text messages, and all of a sudden they disappear. They ghosted me. I've been rejected.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, remind me.
worst.
All right.
After this, we have to address ghosting.
Okay.
That's insane. Okay.
Well, so we might say,
dead.
oh, I've been ghosted, I've been rejected. Okay, that feeling that you have, someone didn't reject you, they just chose not to continue to engage. That's all they've done. Now, even if it's a serious committed relationship, I mean, rarely does someone completely ghost after you've been together for years kind of thing, but they may say, I no longer want to be in relationship with you. They're setting their boundary. They're saying, I don't want to be in relationship with you.
Right.
The feeling of rejection is the abandonment of your own self-love. It is an abandonment of your own worth, your own sovereignty, your own being in that moment. That's all you're rejecting. You're doing it to yourself. Nobody's doing it to you.
Yeah, but what
Okay.
if there is an obvious, I am not attracted to you, I don't feel it for you?
By the way, okay, that's a great question.
still not
because
personal.
here's the
That
thing.
sounds clearer to me.
By the way, energetically, we're probably only aligned with 1 out of every 12 people. And I'm making that up, so don't quote me on that. But I don't know how many people were truly connected on an energetic level, maybe 1 out of every 100 people. So are we going to say 99 people rejected us because we're not aligned energetically?
We just we're not on the same wave.
Yeah, that's not a rejection. That's just a misalignment. That's
Yeah.
all that is. So when someone ghosts and someone doesn't want to date you or whatever, it just means we're misaligned. That's it.
Yeah.
But
I know,
the
and it's never
story, but
personal.
here's the thing. There's a story that's created. I've been rejected. That story starts to take you planted a seed, and now that seed's going to grow into a tree of I'm not worthy. I've been rejected, especially if it happens over and over and over again. And I think I mentioned earlier that dating triggers the number one emotional health issue. It's because today, it used to be 100 years ago, there was no such thing as dating. Dating is a relatively new phenomena. If you think about it, we were either in arranged marriages or you slept with someone, you got them pregnant, and you were together.
That's
We
right.
never dated. And really, dating didn't probably start until about the 60s. I mean,
In fact, I did that.
And today's dating is vastly different than what it was 50 years ago.
Right.
Because of this little thing right here.
Yeah, the internet.
Changed everything. So people haven't adapted to this type of communication. It's only in the last decade or two do we communicate in a way, because of this, we no longer communicate like this.
Yeah.
Oh, that drives me. Well,
But that's not a fault. It's not a fault. It's just a recognition that if we want to really connect with another human being, we have to do it face to face because what is it? 93% of communication is nonverbal.
that's what I'm saying.
I didn't
See,
know that.
For me,
Oh, you mean like
this?
Well, that's a form.
No, but still,
yeah.
but still, I
language.
mean, I like
Yeah.
to talk to people.
Yeah.
I like to really. You read the body language. There's a lot.
Yeah.
You know, texting, even phone calls. I'll take phone calls even, but it's the internet and the emails and the texting and
All right. So can I address this?
yes, please.
Okay, because this is really critical because literally, I want to say about 50% of all new relationships by the way, the demographic I talk into is what I call midlife, which is after baby making years and before retirement. So I typically speak to a 42 to 69 age demographic.
Why did you end at 69?
And why'd you start at 42? Just saying.
Because I think people are going to have babies, but after 42, it really
42
starts
is
to
the
decline.
answer, baby.
So I just made that up. But so here's the thing. Almost 50% of all new relationships are happening through an online connection.
I know.
Now, that's not a fault of anything. It's just the reality is for that age demographic, we're just not surrounded by single eligible people in our purview every day, like my son who was in college and everyone was single. So it's just a fact of our environment. But here's the thing. We're meeting total strangers for first dates. There's what's called no like or trust. There's absolutely zero. You barely know them. You don't know if you like them yet, and there's certainly no trust. Unlike in the 60s when you were hanging out in the malt shop and you're hanging out with people and you already got to know them. You already know that you share the same values because you grew up in the same city. All these things of familiarity. We are dating unfamiliar people. And so what's really the challenge is, and by the way, Elizabeth Gilbert, who wrote Eat, Pray, Love, said that the average American is the most narcissistic dater on the planet. They want their best friend, their best lover, the most wealthy person, everything else, but they're not willing to show up what they want. Now, I didn't say this, someone else did. We're showing up with a lack of compassion from what I recognize in dating. It's mostly about what I need and not coming at it from the other person's perspective. I recently was introduced to the idea of you've heard of the golden rule, treat people the way you want to be treated. But I didn't know this until this last week. The platinum rule.
What's that?
Treat people the way they want to be treated. Imagine if we were dating from that perspective, treating people the way they want to be treated.
Okay.
Now, and mind you,
All right.
I'm hoping it's a two-way street here.
Right.
But,
We have a caller.
okay.
We'll complete that thought. Hi, it's Gan. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling?
This is Angelina.
Hey, Angelina. Oh my God, hold on. Turn the
TV.
the TV, or we're not on TV yet, sweetheart. Turn the computer volume down, and I say yet.
Okay.
All right?
All right. It's down.
All
Yeah.
right. Hi, honey. I just video saw you a few minutes ago. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. How's the La Marca?
I love you.
We're all in the dark in
Mark
here.
is great. And then I left and went and had chicken at a soul food restaurant. So now I have lots of good
Great.
carbs in my body.
All right. Well, I know you called in. I know you want to talk to somebody, my little paisan. Who do you want to ask the question to?
Listen, I just want to understand why. What is the gentleman's name again?
Jonathan.
Excuse me?
Jonathan.
Jonathan. So Jonathan said something about a moment ago about parents being emotionally unavailable. When he mentioned something to one of you guys, like which
That
parent
would
was
be me.
emotionally unavailable, because I feel like I attract emotionally unavailable people, and both of my parents were extremely available emotionally in every way. So I want to know why I'm attracting unemotionally available people.
Well, we
And
could say,
maybe
well,
he can
but
answer
here's
that.
the
Maybe
thing.
he can't, and maybe
No.
maybe I shouldn't even ask.
Well, again, and I thank you for your question. I mean, sometimes we either reject or adopt the opposite of our parents. So we might actually do the opposite if our parents were overly available. It might be an inner mechanism within yourself. But this is very complicated stuff. That I am not a therapist by any stretch of the means. I would certainly invite you. In fact, in my book, I really encourage everyone to seek the advice of a therapist to understand where their patterns or why you might be attracting that sort of person in your life. Again, Hoffman is a great place to get an awareness around that. That's just one example. We oftentimes go to what's familiar. And we attract what is familiar. So it usually stems from our childhood. I'm not saying that as an absolute. It's just more of a propensity for that.
Can I just make a suggestion? That
I totally get it.
I'm assuming, and I'm sorry to be unkind to men, but more men are emotionally unavailable because they don't have the same upbringing to make them more emotional
So I want to
or
address
spiritual.
that. I want to address that.
I don't know. I disagree with you, because
Yeah,
I've been in a
same here.
heterosexual relationship, and now I've been in a gay relationship for last 15 years of my life. I've been out, and I find it so common with women.
Oh, yes.
I didn't find it with men.
I think
A lot
the
of
whole
women
okay.
are
So
not
really, the
unavailable.
conversation about emotionally unavailable makes me want to go like this. There is no such thing as emotional unavailability. We are all capable of expressing our emotions. Now, women have a tendency. Now, I'm saying in the straight world, so please forgive me. I don't.
Well,
know the world.
you
But
said-
women, but let me
No,
say
no.
this: women have a tendency to express their emotions like this, ah! And men like this.
They're taking.
He's
shelter.
covering his
disagree
eyes.
with you.
Shelter.
No, I'm saying
Again.
I'm saying it. Okay, hear me out. I'm saying it tongue in cheek.
Generalization.
Angelina,
But I'm saying is
calm down.
men have a tendency, because we've been taught when we were younger, to repress or suppress our emotions.
That's kind of what I meant.
That's
Yeah.
what we are definitely taught that when we're younger. But it doesn't mean that we're emotionally unavailable. It just means we don't feel safe to express our emotions, whether man or woman. When we feel safe, we feel we are in a capacity to express our emotions. Just because a woman, and I'm saying this tongue in cheek, might be loud with her emotions.
Totally. No, I get it.
Doesn't necessarily mean she's emotionally available either.
She's just Italian.
It's just, exactly.
Hey, it's Siciliano, man.
I do believe that the whole conversation about emotionally unavailable is ridiculous when you actually, because it's what it is it's to subvert what actually is really going on in a relationship. Oh, he was emotionally unavailable. It's because the person hasn't taken responsibility for their part in the ending of a relationship. Oftentimes.
Correct. I agree with you 100%,
the finger
John.
is
100%.
pointed.
That's exactly
and so
what I'm
one of my
getting at.
chapters in my book is about taking personal responsibility for your choices, wherever the camera is. And because when we take responsibility for our choices, it's not that the person is emotionally unavailable or rejected us or anything, because we created all that as an opportunity to love ourselves. When you're not getting love back, you're creating an opportunity to love yourself back. You're just in the context of being a giver.
I'm good.
When it hasn't come back to you, that's the opportunity to love yourself again or back or more.
You know, when I was getting rejected all the time.
Can we say you weren't being rejected?
Okay.
There was a misalignment
But I
between
was-
me and other
there
people.
you go.
Okay, when I was misaligned and choosing to misalign myself, whatever, the energy was actually attraction on the same, okay, I
Physical
digress.
level.
Yes. So I actually couldn't understand that whole, you need to love yourself first before you can attract another lover, before you can, that was so irritating to me because I was so focused on the other person providing me with the good stuff and the happiness.
You're a goddamn narcissist.
I think
Is that Mara? Who's
Yes,
who's
this is
talking right
Mara.
now? Is that
Mara.
Mara?
Hi, it's
Yes,
Mara.
Mara.
So what I was saying is,
Oh my God, you are so right. She's nailed it on the head.
On
Definitely.
the what? On the what?
on the head. I
You
nailed
owe us
it.
$1.
On
By
the
the way,
damn
that
head.
FYI.
That,
I want to
take
address the whole you have to love
I'm
yourself
sorry,
before
I'm
you
so
love
sorry.
another.
Yes, of course. And I was just going to say, I was in a place where I was not, the focus was not on me. The focus was not on what I love to do on my spare time. The focus was not on my art. I'm passionate about a lot of creative things that provide me with my own good feelings and happiness. But before, I've gone through slumps where I just want to be a victim and I just want somebody else to give me the good stuff. So
How's that working for? How's that working
it
for
didn't
you?
work for
no,
me.
because
Hold on one second. Angelina,
Yes.
do you have anything else to say, honey?
No, you guys are awesome. Like
No,
honestly,
only because there's another
thank you-
caller.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate.
much.
Thank you, by the
Thank
way.
you.
I love
Hey,
your
call me.
question.
Hey, call me tomorrow. I'm available.
You got it.
All
Thank
right,
you guys.
Love
Have
you.
a good night.
Bye.
You're
Thank
so
you.
awesome.
Hold on one second. Let's just see who this caller is.
9 for 9 or whatever.
Another one.
Oh my God.
Hi, it's Gaye. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling? Hello. Hi. Hi.
Hang on.
949.
I'm checking to see if that's one of mine.
All right. Well, if you, oh, hold on. Did they hang
Who's
up? Are we
dialing
going to
in?
call them? Let's call them back. Let's call them back for fun.
Yeah, she's one of mine. That's Trudy. Trudy,
Okay.
unmute yourself.
But I want to answer Mara's
All right.
question.
Please
I'm
answer
glad.
Mara.
Thank you,
Thank
Jonathan.
you.
Because
Yes,
poor
go
Mara
ahead.
got left
Yeah,
in the
no,
I was
want to
going
address
back.
that.
I'm like, what the
I don't want her to
hell?
feel
No,
rejected.
she's not
No.
rejected. Go.
It's not
Honey
about
bunny,
So
I'll give
you
you
know
a
what?
big
Okay,
hug.
so the old phrase, or you've heard this before: you have to love yourself before you love another. And on some level, we don't ever really love ourselves 100%. I don't think it's possible. It can be if you're narcissistic. No,
But that's not
I'm
a
just
true
kidding.
love.
No,
That's
I was
not-
kidding.
Look,
I'm
I
kidding,
did
I'm
that.
kidding.
You know
I'm
what?
kidding,
Hold
I'm
on one
kidding.
second, okay? I attract narcissists.
Okay, no.
Okay, well, hold on. No. I'll get back to you for a second.
Okay.
There is a checklist online for a narcissist.
Okay, but here's the truth. A narcissist actually, and this I was joking because we were talking about before, actually loves themselves the least, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why they
That's
do it.
actually true. So going back to the idea of loving yourself before you can love another. Look, it's a work in progress. We're in process of just this experience. What it's more about is don't give to get. And which I think you were somewhat describing there. There was an element I was giving, I think you said that. I was giving on some level expecting to get it back. And when I didn't, I became a victim. And victim consciousness is toxic
It really
to
is.
both
Takes
yourself and
everything
everyone
personally.
around you.
Yes.
And we are swimming in a sea of victimhood. And all you have to do is turn on Facebook or any other social media to see how many people are victims. And I have a chapter in my book about either being the victim or the victor in your life. And so my invitation for everyone is to be the victor of their life.
It's certainly
to
not
take
attractive.
responsibility.
Yeah, it's not attractive to know somebody who plays that victim role. I mean, the way to repel people from you, is to have that woe is me sort of.
Well, there's this element, if I'm a victim, I'm going to get sympathy. And it's interesting. So losing a child, it's fascinating how much love. It's not fascinating. I mean, I'm just amazed at how much love I got from so many people I never even talked to before in my life. I mean, thousands and thousands of people were reaching out to me. And then after a while, it starts to drop off. And it just starts to, little by little, drop off. And I could do a post on Facebook about him, and I'd get all this love again. And then it would drop off. And I do a post on Facebook, and I get this love again. After a while, I realized I was being seduced by sympathy. It is a very intoxicating feeling to get sympathy from other people. And so on some level, the victim consciousness is just seeking sympathy because they don't have it within themselves to give their own love within themselves. Once I recognized that intoxication, I started to really go, whoa. You know what? I don't need that to feel good about myself. I am so grateful for everyone's love, but I don't need it to feel love for myself.
I have a question.
Yes.
So what about this personality type?
Yes.
You're in a relationship.
Yeah.
This is not me.
Okay.
Or anybody. I mean, it's somebody I know. You're in a relationship.
Yeah.
It's narcissist and victim.
Yeah.
Back and forth, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
So here we are at the end of the relationship.
Yeah.
And then when it's not in your favor because this person finally stands up and says, I am cutting this cycle.
Yeah.
Then the person goes on frickin' Facebook and passively and aggressively starts to attack that person. Therefore, all their friends who know who the hell it is ends up, it's sort of like they're outing them with personal stuff, which is really only their opinion of the relationship. And then the person who is the brunt end of that now becomes isolated by this circle of friends and stuff that they were with. How do they deal with that?
Let me be clear about something. It's the narcissist that's outing this, or the
narcissist is sort of creating this drama on Facebook.
On social media.
On social media. So therefore, all her friends are discriminating against the other one.
So here's my thing is, a friend will never abandon you. A friend has your back. If they don't have your back, then they're not really a friend. Yep. They're an acquaintance or a social acquaintance. So I could give a shit about what other people say. I know this is one of my dearest friends. She's had my back. She's going through stuff in her life. I have her back. That's the demonstration of a friend. Somebody else could say shit about me to this woman, and she's not going to change her opinion about me. That's a friend.
Well,
okay.
No, but what I'm saying
is, I mean, on social media, if someone is vomiting their shit on social media, my friends are going to come and support me. If they don't, then they're not really a friend.
Right. If someone's your true friend, they don't just dump you when you're just too much to handle.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. So, but people like that when they are attacked on Facebook, especially by.
So I'm going to tell you something. You see this skin right here?
Yeah.
This is the thinnest skin on the planet. Okay, I've been attacked a lot on Facebook, and I've taken it heavily personally until I realize it's just a projection of someone else's insecurities.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And so when I decided to shift, I go, they're in pain, and I said, you know what, I'm going to send that person love and compassion because they don't have the inner fortitude, the self-love within themselves to really hold a space of love. And I can send them compassion. Doesn't mean I can still have a boundary, but I can send them compassion. And when I do that, what's the term for Brene Brown says, forgiveness is for you, not for them.
Yes.
So and by the way, forgiveness is another way of saying forgiving love. I can give that person love and feel better about myself. That's my invitation. Some people think this is woo-woo shit. Some think that this is crap. But I'm going to tell you something.
The person you forgive doesn't have to know you've forgiven them at all.
Exactly.
It's just in your heart.
Exactly. We have a caller. Tell me when, Tony. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. Like there's one freaking person on the line. Hi, this is Gaye. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Celeste.
Celeste, how are you, honey?
Hi, Celeste.
Hi.
I'm good. I'm watching your show because I happen to have the night off.
Oh, really? Seriously? The woman who works 50,
Yeah.
50 shows a day? Really?
And what do you do, Celeste?
I already did 2 shows today, so we're good.
She's a singer. She has a
Singer.
beautiful, beautiful voice.
Good.
What would you like? What would you like to ask us, honey?
Well, I wanted to contribute to the part about when you have. I've seen this relationship thing go down so many times with friends. You know, me and my wife, we've been together for 14 years, and we talk about everything. We're best friends and everything. But I've seen this so many times where they try to pull us into the middle of their fucked up relationship. Sorry. And anyway, so they want us to take sides. That has been something where people always want to demand us to take sides and to support this or that. And I see this right now with a couple that I married. I'm an officiant for weddings too, and I married this couple recently, and they're getting divorced in less than a year, and they keep wanting to trash each other on Facebook. And you see this trying to rally this weird attention, and it's almost becomes a competitive thing because I see both of them posting. They probably have each other blocked, and you see this crap being spewed back and forth, and them wanting us to take sides. I've told everybody that I've ever met, I will not take sides unless somebody has done something extremely harmful to the other person that is just something that doesn't agree with me and my value system. And I've actually lost more friends for not taking sides than for being, and being supportive, trying to be supportive of both parties. Or you find out that one of those parties only stays friends with you so they can try to get dirt and find out what's going on in the other person's life. And I don't dish that. So anyway, it's really complicated how these people can go through their breakups.
So, what's your question?
What's your question?
So my question is, as when you're the one being pulled into this, what is the most healthy way to set boundaries with these couples to say, I'm not, I've put it down and just said, no, I am not taking sides. But when you still have to see both of these people on social media, just disengage, don't even get riled up by they're looking for sympathy. They're trying to get that attention. So I just ignore it and unfollow it and just let them deal with it on their own.
Well, I'll address this one.
Please
so,
do, 'cause
I believe that there's a lot of toxicity when there's drama being vomited on social media. So you have a choice. First, check in with yourself. Just check in with your heart. How does this feel? Just how does this feel right now? And if it doesn't feel good, then don't engage. Now, recognize that it's very easy that our ego might come in and say, oh, I'm going to go ahead and engage. I'm going to, not suggesting you, I'm saying, but it can happen where our ego comes in and says, oh, I'm going to pick a side, or I'm going to talk about this or talk about that. But recognizing, asking oneself, are you really coming from a heart-centered space, or are you coming from ego?
Yeah.
And oftentimes when people are caught up in drama, that's just ego just playing out in the most sometimes disgusting way on social media or just in life in general. So, but your barometer for your life is how you feel. Okay? I love Star Wars because Star Wars had a poignant message and said, Luke, feel your feelings. That's how you tap into the force or the source, if you will. Your feelings are your barometer. When something doesn't feel good, that's the time to maybe set a boundary or disengage and regroup and actually love yourself more.
God, you scared me.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm driving for the camera. To actually infuse love back to yourself. Well, I was being a little bit selfish there. By the way, so I hope that helps give you a different perspective, is allow your feelings to be
Not
a
the same
barometer.
perspective I have. I never play into their drama at all
Okay.
whatsoever.
Yeah.
But the problem, what has happened is I've kept certain groups of friends who do take sides. So say you have a whole group of friends that keep sides, like I had this particular couple that split. They all stayed with the guy that was the cheater in the relationship. And then I was seen hanging out and partaking with these friends. And the woman was like, you are a backstabber. You're still friends with those people, and they accept him for his, and after he cheated on me. And I'm like, that's their choice. I'm not taking sides on this at all. And so she just completely blocked me from her entire life because I was still friends with the friends of this person that she was leaving because over a cheating issue.
That's
I want to address this.
That's
I want to
nothing
address
you
this
did
because
wrong.
you know what? This reminds me of 2 chapters of my book. One is don't compromise yourself at the expense of others. But really, one of my favorite chapters in my book is called "Don't Let Anyone Fuck with Your Chi." And actually, this was actually written because of my son. My 19-year-old son had this way of not letting anyone else's opinion of him or anything else bother him. So I wrote this chapter in honor of him because really you have a chance to step into your own sovereignty and say, you know what? I hear all this drama going on. Why do I even want, not suggesting you, but you don't have to engage in it. And if people's opinion of you is something that you don't appreciate, you don't have to engage with them either, because a true friend has your back. A true friend loves you for who you are in your heart, warts and all. And believe me, we all come here muddied and beat up and everything else, but a true friend loves you. What you're describing to me, it sounds like a bunch of social people we call friends, but really I invite everyone on this show to really tap into who are your true core friends, who is your community, who's going to be there for you. And I know hundreds and hundreds of people showed up for my son's funeral. That was a demonstration of their core friendship for me. Those are the people I know I can count on. Everyone else is they're social friends, but I'm talking about if you really want to invite a healthier you, then focus on your core friends and let everything else kind of go by the wayside.
Yeah, if you're in the trenches and nobody wants to come down and help you out, well, that's not a true friend.
I agree.
Yep. Or if you are being your authentic self by choosing to be friends or not take sides, and somebody else has a problem with that, then that's not
problem,
your issue.
not mine.
Because
It's their
a good
problem.
friend would let you be your authentic self, even if they don't agree with what you're
Exactly.
doing.
I agree. Well, thanks, Celeste, for calling. I appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank you,
Yes,
sweetheart.
I have something to say real quick. I just want to apologize. I didn't have permission to touch you earlier.
Oh, I don't care.
No, I know that, but you know what? You watch my videos, right?
Me
I
too.
always say, no, I'm very conscious of this now because, I mean, even in a friendly environment, I just wanted to ask for consent. But I know that's simple now, but I'm having this awareness now to really be respectful. And as engaging and comfortable as this all is, touching each other isn't cool unless we have permission.
I agree.
So I just wanted to express.
Where did you touch her?
I touched her on
Oh
the
my God.
Well, if you really want to know,
Everybody.
we had a little fun under the
Not the
table.
tits. No, I'm just
Another
kidding.
fascinating episode.
But I just wanted to own that.
No, it's
so.
okay. We're on till 8:30 tonight. Don't worry about it. You guys get an extra bonus half hour.
Okay.
This is another fascinating episode of Between the Sheets with our wonderful guest, Jonathan ASLAY.
Good question.
Self-love, new album. Oh, I'm making you a rock star.
God,
So,
Terry Nunn will sing
Terry
it for
Nunn will
me.
sing it for us. She sings everything else for us. We are here, as you know, the first and third Friday of every month from 7 p.m. Pacific, 323-524-2599. Please call us. This is a real interesting show. I didn't know how it would be. I knew you, but I'm like, I don't know. This could get dicey.
You thought it was going to be boring. You thought I was going to be
You're
so
not
boring.
I never found you to be boring. You're actually, A, you're entertaining. B,
Thank
you know what you're talking about. Just because I don't agree with you doesn't mean I really don't agree. I'm just not ready to agree
Your
with you.
perspective is just, it's not even
a
agree or
perspective.
disagree.
Yeah.
Your perspective is different than mine. I mean, you'll catch up someday, I know.
Someday.
Hey,
but,
Jonathan, do you think women expect too much when they go on a date from men?
Yes.
I think there's a propensity
saying.
because of traditional socialization, traditional
Norms.
stories and norms and socialization, that there's some level of truth to that. That's not always the case. But in dating, it should be a two-way street. I'm a big proponent that you take turns treating each other on dates. You treat that person the way you treat your best friend, and kissing.
Well, that reminds me when I was talking to you earlier, and I was.
That's why I said the kissing.
Well, I was saying, okay, so you have a scenario where you don't know each other, but you meet up and there's instant chemistry. You're very physically attracted.
Yay.
And then maybe you think things are going well, and you think you guys are meant for each other because of this chemistry. And then he or she ghosts you after, and you're like, "What the hell?" And you mentioned, well, that's why you should really come at when you're meeting someone new at a friendship level. And I'm thinking, can I have both? Because I don't want a boring.
I
I know. I'm like, I don't do that.
I want to add add something though, because I get what Mara says too. Oh shit, I don't want to call anybody. I understand that too. I have been told to take things slow, to be patient. And I just get, when I meet someone that I really meld with, hold on, let me finish because I know you're going to address the whole thing. And I just want to eat, breathe, sleep, talk, just be consumed by them. And I get so excited, and I'm being told, hey, there's boundaries. Boundaries?
Exactly.
But why don't you like me as much? I mean, why don't you want to be with me as much? I mean, don't you see this? And I mean, and then it becomes, we're just going to be friends.
Wait,
Jonathan,
What's this bullshit?
Let her
give me 1
straight,
minute.
for
Give me
goodness
one
sake.
Okay, first off, I want to share something because I want to go back to Mara. A week ago, Tuesday, I had one of those kind of dates. I mean, we're sitting at each other at the dinner table, and I thought we were going to have sex right there on the
that
table.
chemistry was
Yeah,
strong,
that chemistry was so intense. We're in the car, and I thought, well, anyway, we didn't go that far. And that was interesting was when I got back home, and I was driving home, red flags were popping up in our conversation, and now now the chemistry is not there. The chemical reaction that was going on, which is dopamine and testosterone and estrogen and oxytocin and all these different chemicals are being released, are now dissipating. And I'm going, holy shit, we are so misaligned. I mean, there was like one red flag after another, and I don't want to get into particulars.
That doesn't mean you can't have
but
sex.
And you know what?
Well,
Interesting.
no, because
let me
you
say
have
this.
sex
The
with
old
everybody.
Jonathan,
I don't.
the old Jonathan would have pursued her, had sex, only to do what I call the dysfunctional moonwalk, which is to backpedal out of it in such a way to make her think I'm really fucked up. That was my way of doing it.
Nice.
Today
That's
they just
okay.
ghost. What I love about Marianne Williamson says to her audience, talks about chemistry. And to the audience, she says, what do you do? What's the first thing you do when you're on a date and you have intense chemistry? And the entire audience raises their hand and says, pray. Because... in other words, when you have intense chemistry, that is not an indication of relationship success.
Buddhism
Goodness
says
no.
that too.
But it
Buddhists
feels
say
It's
that.
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's a
It
mask.
just means you just have a chemical reaction with someone else. So how do you avoid that?
No, not how do you
Okay,
avoid
because
it.
because here's the thing. It was interesting because this woman I had a date with says I had suggested coffee. She suggested either dinner or drinks because she wanted to have a social environment. What had occurred to me is when you meet for coffee, you're not going to be your tongues down each other's throat at the restaurant
Why not?
table. Well, rarely is it going to happen at
So,
Starbucks.
apparently you
but
do that.
you actually go at a slower pace. The idea is to set up dates where you're going at a much slower pace. And actually, when you have alcohol and music involved, it's so much easier to go down that road.
Oh, yeah.
True.
So first dates might be better served as a walk on the, we live by the ocean, so walk on the beach or walk in the park, that sort of thing, just to do what's called the sniff test. Because when you're meeting a stranger, all you care, really, you almost don't care about anything else. You just want to know you're attracted to one
Yeah.
another. After that, you could go, hey, look, we're attracted to each other. Let's call each other tomorrow and set up a date. I'm joking. I'm saying
No,
this
I
as
know.
a joke. But that's really
Mara,
what that
you're
first
finding it
meeting
funny?
is just
I'm
to see
kidding,
if we're
I'm kidding.
attracted to one another.
Right.
Well, I know, but like what I'm trying to say is, can I find somebody that I'm wildly attracted to, and it's mutual,
Yeah.
but yet we start off just being friends, and we keep it there for a while because that's what you advise: get to know each other on a friends level. Does that mean that there's? But you said plus kissing.
What's the point of dating if you're not going to kiss them?
Yeah, right.
Eventually
And
it's
hold
You know
like-
what?
hands.
I'm sorry. Kissing for me
Making.
sometimes is better than sex.
Oh, of course.
It's the intimacy. It's you know what?
Okay,
It's the-
touching, kissing,
no,
flirting,
it's the
all
kissing.
that stuff.
It's the kissing before, then you have the sex, and then
You
like
clearly haven't had good sex.
shut up. No,
Clearly.
because it's not about the fucking act. It's about the intimacy. It's about the touch. So there is. I love the kissing part, and I love after having sex just to sit there in each other's arms and just talking. And I'm a damn romantic, and fuck you.
Yeah, I love a bit of
You
after-
can
afterglow
actually.
is
You
good.
can.
I would say that oxytocin is released when you kissed as well, so it's easily that you could bond with someone. But I want to go back to Mara's point, is that how do you set it up? If you're conscious and aware that this could happen, then you set an intention before you meet. If you set an intention, say, hey, look, if there's mutual chemistry between us, let's recognize it and let's focus on developing, getting to know one another, because we overcome the most important, the hardest hurdle, which is first is having chemistry or that synergy. Now, here's the thing. Physical attraction doesn't necessarily mean you have energetic chemistry. Energetic
That's
chemistry
true.
is more like a soul connection. It's more of a vibe with someone else. We can be wildly physically attracted to another human being and not actually have vibe with another human being.
Story
I
of
think
my
that's a
life.
whole different conversation.
Yeah.
So one of the by the way, in the straight world, there's something called men are the gas and women are the brakes. So
They put the brakes on it?
yeah, the
Like
women
they're
put on the
saying, go
brakes.
slow, go
Yeah,
slow.
they're the jobs
Yeah,
to
okay.
go slow.
Those
So now you
speed
have two
bumps.
women at it. I don't know how to handle that one.
I mean, but the thing is, there is a dance. I mean, there is a dance in a relationship.
Yeah.
And and it is about me. But I mean, it's like at 55, and I should have learned some of these things already. And it's just that I keep continuing to go back into the same patterns.
Yeah.
And it's really hard because I recognize it. I mean, I know my familiar patterns. And because it usually ends up with me not getting the girl. It's usually in the friend zone at that point. And I am tired. I am tired. I'm not going to cry. Well, maybe I am. I am sort of tired.
Yeah.
I am tired. That's why I'm probably going to cry. Because, I think everybody, I want love,
Yeah.
and I want, oh God, I can't believe I'm crying. I want love. And I'm tired of sabotaging myself, to get that.
Yeah.
And and it's like I come off as needy, and I'm not. I just want someone to love me for me, and not try and change me to suit their things, Why am I fucking
Is it not
crying?
self-worth that we're boiling this down
Yeah,
to?
I was just about to say, okay, so bringing it
Also
back.
lack of
Here's the
sleep.
thing about love. You have an abundance of love in your life. So let's not, I know you have friends who love you deeply. So at least I observed this. So what you're really saying is you want a connection with another human being. Let's just differentiate, because it's not love that you're seeking from them. You already have all the love you need within you. Okay? You just want to feel connection with another human being. And you'd like to be...
I'd like to have a partner.
Okay,
I'd
so
like
now, all
someone.
right. So now here's the thing. For 55 years, you've been doing it. What's the definition of insanity?
You
do
keep doing the
something
same thing
over
over and
and
over
over
again,
again.
expecting
Hear
different
everyone say it.
results.
So you've been doing something a certain way, and you're going, I'm 55 years old. Well, how about starting a new way of doing things?
Yep.
And that would be...
Yeah, thank you. Because
First, start with my book. Start with my
You have to
book.
understand, she's like my sister, we're mini-me.
Yeah.
We sort of mirror each other very much on our past experiences, although she's a lot younger than I am.
Yeah.
And, it's funny because I will talk to her and I will advise her. And I can advise her exactly what I know, I should advise her. And as I tell her, I'm like, wow, I'm telling her what I need to do. And it's so much easier to tell someone else than to put it into practice.
Of course it is.
Well, going back to your question that you asked him earlier, when you start to date somebody that you like and you're super excited, because I'm the same way. I get super excited.
Jump
I'm like,
in.
oh my gosh, I like jump in like head first. And the person is like, whoa, hang on a minute, and they put up boundaries and rules and restrictions and this and that. And I'm like, that's a turnoff. Like that right there, it's over for me.
So, hold on,
I'm
wait.
like,
Can I just say something? You know what? Hold on, wait. And I'll tell you.
I love this question.
What I find is if they stick around, and even if it's just a friendship or whatever, and they tolerate your behavior, there's love there. There has to be some sort of love there. No?
tolerate?
by
That
tolerate is
word? No.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm the same way. I'm effusive. I'm demonstrative.
Close up.
I'm effusive. I'm demonstrative. I jump in with a lot of enthusiasm. So what am I seeking? someone who's aligned with that.
Exactly.
So when I meet someone who's misaligned, that's just all that means is we're misaligned.
Exactly.
It's not, and I'm sorry, I'm going to, well, I don't
I
want
don't
to
care.
disagree. My perspective
what?
is
It's
different
okay.
on tolerance. Nobody should ever tolerate my
Exactly.
beautiful, loving, wonderful behavior of
Yes.
being my crazy, weird self.
Exactly.
Now, here's the thing. So long as I'm kind, sincere, and respectful to another human being, because I do believe that we can be unkind, unsincere, disrespectful. So long as, you're not one of those, then find someone who's in alignment with you.
Exactly. And that's what I was
Then
going to say.
saying,
Trying to
I'm gonna
force it.
then say, because here's the thing: a lot of people hold out thinking, I'll stick with a relationship, hoping they'll change.
Oh, I've been
Yeah,
there.
They'll change
I
their
have
opinion
been
about
there.
me. Fuck that shit. If they're not aware enough
Exactly.
to appreciate who I am, and again, if I show up in a very loving, compassionate, kind way, if that doesn't work for someone, then we're just misaligned.
Mismatched.
That's it.
Exactly. As soon as someone's going to give me rules and restrictions and boundaries and everything else, and I'm just free and I'm full of love and I'm full of light, and they're showing me all that, we're not aligned. We're clearly not aligned. That's the biggest turnoff, the fastest turnoff. I'm like, you're done. We can be friends,
All
but
bad
at that
timing.
point, I don't even want them as a friend.
Okay, wait. Can I just have a
personally.
question? No, I am trying to really figure this out in life right now. I'm really happy, kinda. Actually, for the most part, I'm happy. I feel kind of empty. I've got a lot of love. I feel empty, and I just have so much love to give to somebody.
Yeah.
And it's just freaking weird. It's sort of like, what's the deal with like, you're okay. Let's say you're aligned with somebody. Let's say you get to that point where you're aligned, and they're just emotionally unavailable.
Then are you truly aligned?
You're not.
You're
Well, first
not.
off, if you have
Well, what
all
if
this
there's an
love to give, I
attraction?
would like you to give that love
That's
back to
different.
yourself. Okay? Right now, if you're feeling empty, this is the time to fill your love cup in. Read my book. Okay, I'm doing lots of plugs for it. This is really your time. Maybe not even dating for a while, not even pursuing a relationship. Invest in yourself and peel the layers that have been accumulated over the last 55 years.
But that's the thing. I am, and I'm doing work on it. I don't feel. I mean, empty isn't a word. I just.
Well, you said it,
I
so
know.
I'm responding
you're
to
fine.
that.
You're fine. I mean, I'm like crying on the air. I have never done this, so I'm trying. My brain is just like zzz, because I'm trying to come with the words of what I'm saying. I mean, I just, self-love. Okay, I love myself. I really do. I have really good qualities, and it's not, whatever. But when you're aligned with someone that recognizes it, and there is an attraction there, and I'm just talking about the first attraction, but there is an attraction. I guess my thing is, and I guess that has to do with, I'm a slow learner, so I have to repeat. So you're saying if there is that attraction, they're saying you're moving too fast. Slow things
You mean
down.
they're saying that?
Yeah, but they're not saying get the hell out of my face.
Okay.
So, I mean, what you're saying is sort of push back, like back up, reflect, and sort of have a happy medium and sort of work it.
Well, I would invite you to check in with yourself, because there's a difference between being who you are, effusive, enthusiastic, and everything. That to me is not going fast or ahead, okay?
Right.
All right. Now, if there's a place within you that is coming from a place of need, or it's coming from a place of to get someone else's attention, then yes, you may want to pull back a little bit and regroup on loving yourself. Okay, in those moments. Okay, it's not about the other person; it's about yourself. If they're saying you're crowding me, that is a time to self-reflect. Now, you could say, I would say, if someone felt I was crowding them, then we're just misaligned.
Yes.
Because I'm not going. Again, I just go to the 50-yard line. I'm just looking to see if you're there. Okay? I don't go to the 10-yard line and hang out. If they're hanging out there. So just know where your yard line is. I just recommend the 50-yard line.
Okay.
And don't go past that. And here's the things. May I say, sweetheart? I'm old school.
I say it all the time.
Okay.
I say it and I
Sweetheart,
get
sweetheart,
slammed by it. But
sweetheart.
go ahead. Yes, honey.
What you're feeling
Tell
is
me.
so.
Tell me,
Sexy.
oh, baby.
What you're feeling is so natural. We all feel that place of emptiness, especially wanting to be in relationship, to want to connect with another human, to want to be accepted for who we are, warts and all. And it's a challenge today, especially we live in a very superficial, materialistic, narcissistic world, victim consciousness. this is why the invitation is to work on yourself, because when you're truly happy being yourself, you're not going to feel empty. You're going to feel so blessed. And I say this because I went through what I consider probably the worst nightmare of my life. And I've come out of this going, fuck, I am so blessed. And Connor's with me every day. In fact, it was my birthday yesterday, and I brought his ashes and his photograph to the restaurant. Yeah, I mean, I bring him wherever I go, you know? No, at least for me, gratitude and recognizing all my blessings takes away that edge of not feeling, maybe, hey, I'd like to be cuddled today.
I just always want a hug.
Well, we'll give you
Okay, cool.
I give bear hugs.
I just want to thank our guest, Jonathan ASLAY. He has a new book out, Amazon. What the heck is self-love anyway? Buy it. It's pretty awesome. He's a wonderful friend of mine. I would love you to come back.
Oh, I'd love to come back.
I mean, you're the official girl.
I made you cry.
You did. God damn it. Oh, my God. I mean, my image is completely ruined right now.
We love you more
I am now I'm emotional now. But I just want to thank you again, Jonathan. It's always a pleasure. I want you to come back.
I would like to come
Thank
back.
you. Thank you for the book. It's amazing.
pleasure.
I want to thank
Roxanne
I was going to say something very nice, but now that you've interrupted, Roxanne Rosen. You can find her on Facebook under her 75 aliases.
Say the nice thing you're going to say.
I'm not now because well, no,
sorry.
No more. You have to wait. You have to wait 2 weeks. 2 weeks to hear the nice thing. I'll spank you later. I want to thank Tony. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
My other goddess sister. I love you.
Love you.
Cara Noble.
Thank you.
And they can find you on?
Oh, well, Facebook, obviously. Cora. Cara Noble Voice is my voiceover website on Facebook.
Hey, Tony, can we put the music on?
Or on...
Topanga and Ventura.
Or Topanga
Ventura.
Depends on what corner. And then, of course, the wonderful artist, Mara Shane. She has a new Facebook page on her artwork, so please check her out. She's amazing.
Mara Shane Custom Designs.
She paints on anything.
They're so great.
Well, any wardrobe.
Your body.
I mean, she can paint my body.
Nice.
As a matter of fact,
She
I
did
think no, she's not. No, she will be painting my body soon.
I want to watch.
Nah, please. Why don't we just have the show?
Let me get the video camera.
Let's just have the show.
There you go.
Everyone, thank you again. Another episode of Between the Sheets here on ubngo.com. Follow us on Facebook. You can follow me on Instagram at Cute Brat. Again, Terry Nunn is going to be, this is her song, the album cut today. Go and buy it. It's freaking amazing. Performing on Sunday, August 4th at the, I think it's called LA Live now, but I'm old school. I still call it Microsoft. Guys, I have to say, thank you for the callers. Thank you guys for supporting our show. Our numbers have been amazing. The support, thank you for spreading the word. I have all of you in my heart, always. Thank you. You make me and this show what it is. Don't ever forget that. I appreciate you. Have a great night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks, August 16th, I think. Mwah. Love you guys.
Love you.
Bye.
Thank you.